Everyone thinks the highest bid wins. It does, many of the times. But Warren Buffett famously said, price is what you pay, value is what you get. If you think price is the only game, you're already playing the wrong one. So think about that for just a second. I've seen founders walk away from bigger checks and take lower offers instead. Why would they do that? Because money's just one piece of this. The universe only aligns when a few other forces are at work here. Today, I'm going to break down the 5 things that actually close deals. Hi, I'm Jon Stoddard from dealflowsystem.net. I've helped buyers close $33 million in deals, raise $50 million in funding, and if you're working full-time or just want to buy a business without wasting years chasing junk deals, first hit subscribe and then watch this video. All right, here's the truth. The seller's experience of the deal often matters more than the dollar signs. Ask any founder who's sold. They don't remember the valuation math, but they do remember how smooth or painful the process felt. Did the buyer respect their work? Did they trust them? Was the deal frictionless? Like the universe wanted it to happen, everything aligned? That's the stuff that closes deals. So let's break down the 5 things that matter. All right, number 1, clean, simple terms. Execution risk kills deals faster than price. Warren Buffett once said he loves the fast no's and the fast yeses. He refuses to waste time on messy structures. Like, if you need a 40-page contract just to explain how an earnout works, you probably already lost this deal. I remember one deal where the seller told me straight, John, I'd rather take your clean offer. No contortions, just simple, just certain. And here's the mini lesson here. Simplicity is leverage. Every layer of complexity is friction. And friction slows the flywheel of that trust between you and the seller. You know, if you've ever taken a physics course, physics teaches us friction robs momentum. In deals, complexity does the same. It's like pushing a boulder uphill. Every extra clause, every contingency is more gravity pulling you back. Keith Cunningham calls this the stupidity tax. He says complexity feels smart, but it actually costs you deals. So the rule, clean beats clever, clarity beats complexity. And would you rather gamble on a $10 million deal that's a coin toss to close, or a $9.5 million deal with 95% certainty? Founders pick certainty every time. So remember this. Complexity kills, simplicity sells. All right, number 2, strategic fit. Charlie Munger's mantra was, show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. That's actually the same in M&A. When the buyer brings strategic leverage like distribution, tech, expertise, the seller knows their baby will grow. Think about Ray Dalio's principles from his book. When he hired, he didn't just look at competence. He asked, will this person raise the average of the team? Founders actually do the same thing. Will this buyer raise the average of the company? Here's a Warren Buffett story. He once bought Nebraska Furniture Mart from Rose Blumkin. Why did she sell to Buffett? It wasn't the highest offer. She said, because I trust Warren will let us run it and help it thrive. That's actually a strategic fit, right? The universe aligns when both parties see a bigger arc. Well, the mini lesson here is, if you're an SMB buyer, first time, lead with your advantage, your industry knowledge, distribution contacts, operational playbooks. Make the seller believe their company future will accelerate in your hands. Because in this game, strategic alignment beats financial engineering every single time. All right, number 3, reputation and trust. Here's a dirty little secret. Before a seller or broker who's representing them signs, they make calls like quiet back channel reference checks. Does this buyer deliver? Do they keep their promises? Or do they play games? And trust me, that reputation swings deals. One podcast guest told me, I had one deal where my reputation did half the work. The seller's attorney called a previous seller I'd closed with, and the feedback they got, he closes. He's fair. That phone call was worth more than adding $500K to the bid. Now, let me pause here, a little bit of a sidebar, because I've heard this play out many times and I've seen it on Search Funder. They say, if you're serious about buying a business, build your image. Like, get a website, put up some headshots, list a team, even if it's just a CPA and a lawyer on speed dial. Sellers want to see you look professional. All right, now that sounds good in theory, but here's the truth. I've actually never seen proof that it actually wins you deals. Now, I've watched guys with zero website, no about us, no fake PE gloss, close real 7-figure businesses. Why? Because they built trust with the seller. They showed they could close, period. Now, I've also seen the flip side. Buyers with shiny sites, logos, professional bios lose the deal to a guy who just connected better in the room. So I'm not against building a site. No, it's cheap. It's not going to hurt you. And if it makes you feel more legit, go for it. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not the silver bullet. Sellers aren't selling to your Wix template. They're selling to you. Far be it from me to have a closed mind. If you know somebody that closed a deal where the website was the tipping point, I want to hear it. I'll get them on my podcast. Great. So back to trust. You don't just buy companies. You buy the right to sit at the table. And that right comes from reputation. Jim Roden said it perfectly. He said, character isn't what you say, it's what you practice. So a little mini lesson, guard your name. In a world of whispers, your reputation compounds like capital. It's very slow to build, but very quick to lose. And it closes more deals than term sheets ever will. All right, number 4, team and culture. Now, here's one first-time buyers miss a lot. They think sellers only care about the payout. Boom, that's wrong. Sellers obsess about where their people land, like employees, customers, culture. And I'm talking about a little bit, bigger SMBs and maybe lower mid-market. That's their true legacy. Adam Coffey, the guy that wrote the PE books, he hammers this point in his books. He says, you don't just buy companies, you actually adopt families. And now I saw it firsthand with my hearing aid company acquisition. The seller grilled me hard on how I treat their staff, kind of more on the number than I offered. And you know what? He sold it to me because I had a plan for the people. Keith Cunningham calls this the soul of the business. When you ignore it, deals can collapse. So there's a little mini lesson here. Never walk into a deal without a plan for the culture. Show the founder you'll honor their people, and that's just not fluff. It's actually leverage to you. Culture closes deals. All right, number 5, certainty of close. Finally, this is one that beats all others. Sellers and brokers want to know, will this deal actually happen? Buffett is the master here. He tells sellers, I don't negotiate, I deliver certainty. That's why Berkshire often wins with lower bids, because the founders know if Warren says yes, the universe aligns and the deal closes. Boom. And it's not just Buffett. So there was a story in Forbes magazine a long time ago. I think it was September 2016. I looked it up. EMC board was grilling Michael Dell on his $67 billion offer to buy it. And then one director at this big table finally asked the question hanging over the room. Does he have the he looks over to Jamie Dimon, who's at the table too, CEO of JP Morgan, and says, does he have the money? Jamie Dimon doesn't flinch, goes, yes, he has the money. That one line killed any doubt in the room, right? You get JP Morgan, one of the biggest investment banks in the world, said, yeah, we can raise $67 billion, no problem. And the biggest tech deal in history went through. And I've seen it too. Buyers with financing locked, diligence tight, and a track record of closing can beat out other higher offers. And nothing kills momentum like a, hey, maybe buyer. Every extra month of delay is more friction, more entropy, more gravity pulling the deal apart. There is a little mini lesson here. Be the buyer who closes. Line up your debt and equity early. Be transparent. Move fast. Money loves momentum because certainty is a currency of its own. All right, let me pull this all together. Ask any founder who sold. Most of them don't brag about the check size, but they do remember the experience. Was it smooth? Was it respectful? Did the buyer deliver? And I hear that from some firms like FE International and Quiet Light versus some of the others. The best exits balance three forces: price, certainty, trust. Or in physics terms, if you ever taken a physics course, I graduated in engineering a long time ago, it's the alignment of energy, direction, and momentum. And when those three align, the universe will tilt in your favor. So for SMB buyers, first-time buyers, here's your playbook. Keep LOIs clean. Don't outsmart yourself. Lead with your strategic advantage, what only you can bring. You know, if you got 20 years HVAC experience or 3 e-commerce deals under your belt, build your reputation deal by deal. And have a plan for the people if there are people in the business, not just the numbers. And above all, deliver certainty. As Brian Tracy said, successful people are simply those with successful habits. In deals, buying a business, those habits are clarity, trust, and speed. All right, if you found this video useful, smash that subscribe button. And if you're serious about buying your first business, I can help. Head over to dealflowsystem.net. That's where I show you how to find, fund, and close your first deal the smart way. I'm Jon Stoddard, and I will see you on the next one.